Hey guys, I'm Jess McDonald, this is GameSpot News, and it is Friday the 13th, so I'm going to try and make today's top 5 a little bit creepy. Expect for that to fail miserably. It was a dark and stormy night, probably when gamers first found out that the Xbox One is coming with almost a quarter of its storage already filled up by on-console installs. Only around 362 to 365 gigabytes will be available to players, and given that the console doesn't support external storage, that's kind of annoying a bunch of people. The report came from IGN, and Microsoft confirmed that they need the space for the operating system and native first-party apps that you wish were better versions of what they are, so Internet Explorer. That may sound annoying, but it is still better than the situation with the 8GB Wii, which only had 3 gigabytes available. Spooky! In other frightening news, gamers are still pissing around with their Xbox Ones, trying to enable features that aren't there and bricking them in the process. Last week it was turning on dev kit mode, and this week it's trying to make them backwards compatible. Hilariously, the steps that an online guide is suggesting for enabling backwards compatibility are the same ones for enabling the dev kit, so maybe this is just social Darwinism and we should let it run its course. Are you remarking on the stupidity of people, or just kind of cross that neither next-gen console is backwards compatible? Next up, I've got a story about terrorists who probably aren't terrorists, the government nosing in on your privacy, and everything looking pretty V for Vendetta, although it's probably not. The short version is that the government has infiltrated Xbox Live and World of Warcraft looking for terrorists, according to the infamous Edward Snowden documents. Basically, the government agencies, including the NSA and British GCHQ, were looking to put a stop to enemies moving money and plotting attacks. Or as I prefer to think of it, they had organized to be at a raid in the middle of the day and needed a good reason to be on WoW. So, terrorists! Let me know if this kind of unauthorized surveillance is something you're genuinely worried about. In news that's bound to make spurned fans of Fallout 4 from last week pretty happy, it sounds like the game may actually be in development. Kotaku got their hands on some casting documents that detail characters, script excerpts, and the already suspected news that the game will take place in Boston, Massachusetts. It suggested that perhaps the game will venture into a post-apocalyptic MIT, supposedly part of something called the Commonwealth, which was referred to in the last game. It's important to note that any of these details could have been imagined up for the purposes of the casting call, or they could change altogether. Now let's talk about the most horrifying thing that happened this week, Spike's VGX Awards and all the news that came with them. GTA 5 won Best Game of the Year, Titanfall snagged Most Anticipated, the award show themselves won the coveted spot of being extremely awkward. Again, we heard about a space adventure called No Man's Sky, and Telltale is taking on Game of Thrones for their next series, which is actually totally awesome. And those are actually all of the things that happened. If your favorite TV show was turned into a game, do you think it would be any good? You can let me know in the comments down below or on my Twitter, where I'm @JessMcDonald. This week on site, Zareen and I have a hell of a time with a grabby, mostly naked Alma. Seb and Cam decide to cool off at the beach in GTA, and Danny expands on what was so crap about the VGX Awards in The Point. That's all the good stuff from this week, but be sure to join me again on Monday for the start of our last 5 shows of the year. Also avoid the underside of ladders and black cats. I'm Jess McDonald, and I will see you again soon.